if it was illegal to say stupid things into a microphone.
Why must you be so stupid?
These guys would be doing life without parole.
Hey, everybody, we're back from prison.
Why do we keep encouraging this kind of behavior? It's the Breaking the Ice podcast with Josh Dolan.
You know, we could, go to jail for this.
Along with Mike Hsu and Isaiah Moskahana Bonsa Monablitz Boskowitz, whatever the hell his name is.
Wow. Is that Jordan LaVallée-Smotherman?
Is that his wife?
I don't see anything.
His wife's account.
He's very attractive.
That was.
Why am I not seeing it? Oh, there we go.
Hey,
there
wait
he
a
is.
minute. Wait.
There he is.
Actually, you're done.
Whoa,
we want to
whoa,
talk
whoa,
to your
whoa.
wife.
You'd rather me bring her in? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, wow, Jordan's looking very attractive.
Oh, listen,
these days.
We double booked.
Love
I wish I had-
love the Railers, but we got to talk to Kate.
She's a fascinating person as is, so she'd probably be worth the chat. So
No, we're actually serious. We're done with you. I'm kidding. That was awesome. We
yeah,
saw
we're
her.
off to a good start. Perfect.
We saw her. We saw her picture pop up. We're like, "Who's Kate? Are we talking to a Kate?" I thought it was a guy. I thought it was Jordan.
Yeah, I thought we were actually going to talk hockey on a podcast called Breaking the Ice. We haven't talked hockey on here since Andrew Raycroft was a co-host, right?
Yeah, once Andrew Raycroft ditched me, it hasn't really been about hockey. I don't know what it's been about.
Well, listen.
Finally.
Listen, Andrew Raycroft went big time with Nesson, so we stood no chance.
Oh, he got
Right.
verified on
Right.
Instagram and left me in the dust.
I love how he's got
So-
12 followers and he's got the blue mark.
Sorry, you guys had to downgrade from the Bruins to the Railers, but hopefully.
Oh,
no. Come on now.
Yeah.
Listen, I was at that game yesterday. You had the crowd screaming. Then again, it was 5,000 elementary school kids and they screamed at everything. But you know what, man? It was awesome because that's one of the loudest Railers games I've ever been to. And there was an energy in that room, I think, because of that. And the game was crazy yesterday. That was insane.
It was. I think. Any school game I've ever played in, there's that kind of there's that hum of a high pitched children screaming noise through the whole game. But it's definitely the loudest I've heard that building. And I think anytime you get professional hockey players playing a game at 10 a.m., a 7-6 overtime final is probably a pretty good prediction.
That's awesome. I want every hockey game that I watch to be 7-6. Nobody wants the 0-0, triple overtime, 1-0. 7-6 means there were fights, there were tons of goals, a lot of shit went down. As a player, you must like those rather than unless you're in the playoffs, the 1-0 tie thing.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody on the team, both teams in that case, they get a point, we get 2 points. But, most of the guys contribute offensively. So you got guys scoring goals, getting assists. And we had an 8-1 game against Adirondack a couple of weeks ago where everybody was contributing. So, yeah, we absolutely want to score goals and have those high scoring affairs.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was that the most goals scored by the Railers at home?
I have not heard that stat, but I know 8 was a franchise record for goals for on the road and overall. So I would assume 7 probably ties it or was the first.
Well, it was fun yesterday. If you guys don't know, they do this thing where they invite all of the elementary school kids in the Worcester public schools to come to a game, and Hanover Insurance paid for the transportation, and I think it's a great thing because a lot of there's some kids who may not be able to make it to a game otherwise, and it was just great to see all these kids being able to scream their head off, and their teachers couldn't tell them to be quiet because there's a big jumbotron that says, "Let's hear you scream."
Yeah. No, the team in general does a really good job introducing the game to a lot of demographics that might not always make it to a hockey rink or have that opportunity. I know Tuesdays they bring school kids in to learn to skate, and they toss them on the ice. And they give kids an opportunity to get out there and try a sport that otherwise they'd probably never have a chance. So those games are awesome to be a part of.
Those school games were amazing back in when the Ice Cats were doing them, and the entire school would go. And Jordan, to what you said, it's not a downgrade to the Railers because I was a Worcester fan before I was ever a Bruins fan.
All right, and there you go. I like it.
We downgraded to the Bruins when they came on. So fuck them.
I was like Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jordan.
No, I was gonna say I was laughing before the game. You guys were talking about the excitement level. I think I've played in 4 of those school games in my career, and I think this was maybe the first one I went through without getting in an actual fight. So the team was somewhat happy with that.
How many fights were in yesterday's game?
There was a minor scrum behind the net. The gloves never actually kind of fully came off.
Yeah.
So I think teachers and parents went home happy with
Well,
that.
I was going to say, you want that, but then in a situation where it's like, I mean, I don't want it to be like, Danbury Trashers level, but like, while all the kids and the parents are like, Jesus Christ, not today, guys.
Yeah. I saw you guys had was it Galante? You guys had him on as one of your recent guests, right? That documentary was nuts. I actually with a number of guys that were a part of that organization at some point. It was crazy.
They're doing something pretty cool now where they're posting all of these, like kind of a wish list of all the people that could be on the team. Could you be on the wish list for the Danbury Trashers?
I doubt it. I mean, I fought back when I was younger, but not to the level that any of those guys mixed it up. I mean, I'd have 6, 7, 8 a year if the game called for it, not somebody that went out and looked for it. So no,
those guys were losing fingers.
I'd be scared to play for that team.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that team existed. Josh is like, hey, we're going to have this guy on. And he's like, watch the documentary. I watched it 2 more times because I was like, is this fucking real? Holy shit.
Some of those people, like the greatest Hollywood writers, could not even begin to write characters.
Right.
Amazing.
They tried to with Slapshot, and it wasn't as good as this.
Right. Nowhere near it. So let me ask you something, Jordan, that has something to, I don't know if you saw the documentary on the Trashers. Okay.
I did. I did.
Okay. So their equipment manager, what's his name?
T-Bone
Pompasano. He would do things like, shut off the hot water and hide the opposing team's goalie equipment and give them 4 towels for all, 30 people. You ever run into anything like that? Because you've played almost all over the world.
Everywhere.
Things like that happen. I have gone into road games where there has been no hot water in the showers after morning skate before the game. I played over in the UK recently, and one of the teams over there at Manchester, they got caught for doing this. But you'd walk into the room, and there'd be a guy that walked in the room right before the visiting team would get there and hosed it down. So you'd walk in this locker room and the walls are sweating and the floor is soaked. And if you ever, that's probably the worst professional hockey league I've ever played a game in.
Wow.
But things like that happen. There was a guy who got in trouble when I was playing over in Sweden, a backup goalie. So it was in Luleå, Sweden. When you walk out for the starting lineups, it's actually similar to Worcester. You walk by the other team's locker room. And so the backup goalie on the team, who was the last guy in line to walk out on the ice, brings a cup of sand with him. And so as they walk by the other team's locker room, he's got this cup of sand that he's kind of shedding behind him. So when the opposing team walks out to go on the ice, they're walking through sand and dulling their blades. Guys are falling all over to start the game. Yeah, but to his downfall, he got caught. So it didn't exactly work, but he ended up getting suspended. The team got in a bunch of trouble for it. So
that's hilarious, though.
Happen. Oh yeah, I thought good on him.
That shit's creative, though. That's like, how many? I used to hear stuff. The Celtics used to do it in the old Boston Garden. Again, shut the heat off. All of a sudden, things just aren't necessarily working. I'm so sorry. Your accommodations suck while you're here, opposing team. Oops.
Yeah.
But I'm like growing up playing hockey in Massachusetts. You got to be kind of used to that, though, because that's like you walk into skate 3 in Nashua, everything's wet for no reason, and just
that's fair. Yeah, all those
there's sand for nobody put it there. There's just sand.
Yeah, nobody mops those floors. All the salt from the roads in the winter is covered the locker room floor. Yeah.
You just look at Hockey Town in Saugus. It looks like it would be wet.
I haven't been there in years. I will say I remember playing a youth hockey game there. They had the roller rink upstairs.
Yep.
And I remember middle of the game, I'm skating down the ice and a roller hockey ball comes flying over the boards from up top, skipping across the ice in front of me at that old rink. Yeah.
That's one of those. That's one of those places.
You moved to Westboro when you were 10, is that correct?
Yeah, so it was 96, 97, so it would have been 10 or 11, something like that. Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that you're playing, almost for a hometown team, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually went to school in Worcester. I went to Bancroft School.
Oh, wow.
Right
Nice.
in Worcester for 7th, 8th, and 9th grade before I left to go up and play in the Quebec League. And actually, it's funny. I mean, Mike, I grew up listening to you. It was a half-hour commute every morning. So back in your early Hillman morning show days, me and my dad would always have you on the radio. So this is a little tiny bit of a fangirl moment for me actually to join you guys today.
Well, that's cool.
That's
cool.
awesome.
And I'm I'm calling the DCF on your dad for letting you listen to that show when you were
Right.
young.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not sure my mom knew about it for years, but yeah.
Oh, good.
No,
Good.
yeah.
That's
What's
usually
a
how
Miss
it went with
Mantown?
AF. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the women go listen to Kiss 108. The guys listen to AF.
Right.
Here we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jordan's probably the only guy in the Railers that knows what a busted ravioli is. Then,
Yes.
I would imagine.
Yes. Yeah. That was an
Nice.
interesting game you guys played. So yeah, that's fair. What was it? A busted blooming flower, busted ravioli? I can't remember what the other one was. Yeah. No, those
Dr.
call into
Bombay.
those terms. Yeah.
Yeah, LB Lyndon Byers came up with Dr. Bombay because it was such a like a reach for it too, because the guy on the television show Bewitched had a completely bald head. And
Right.
so that's why he would call those girls that. That was the connection. That only comes from the mind of Lyndon Byers.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I had an experience. I got to meet LB back. They were shooting the promo film for that Ice Gladiators movie.
All right.
And I was 16 years old back at the time, but I was one of the only guys in the area that the rink manager knew that had some hockey fighting experience. So I had to go out and spar with him.
Oh,
with LB?
for a commercial with LB way back. So
do you have footage of that?
I have no idea where that footage went. I wish I did. It was over at the North Star rink in Westboro.
Wait a minute. Let's Google that right fucking now. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
LB fight.
So you just had to spar with him? I mean,
Yeah, it was all kind of staged wrestling and,
Oh, okay.
and sparring stuff that they were doing like a commercial, like an advertisement for it or something. They just needed some stock footage.
Cam McGuire here for our
Yeah.
first installment of the Railers.
I'm just watching. I'm looking. I gotta find
All right.
that.
I was like, why is Cam talking? Is he part of this now too?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That is
Now,
funny,
wait,
man.
We were talking about school and going to school in the area. And correct me if I'm wrong. You graduated high school, you graduated college, you got a master's degree, but you had no graduate. You've been to no graduations.
Zero graduations.
That's crazy.
I would have had a graduation for my master's program, but obviously COVID kind of canceled that. It was going to be over in Belfast in the UK where I got my master's from. So yeah, that one also just came shipped in a diploma case in the mail. So.
Dude, Mike, this is what your station should do, because he's had 3 degrees, no graduation, Railers, Pike, boom, do some sort of graduation ceremony for him. Even do it on your morning show.
Have him walk before a game wearing the robe
Yes!
and right.
Yes, that would be fucking awesome.
That'd be great. Have Mike Myers out there giving you your degree on the ice.
Yeah.
That would be
Right.
Yeah.
Have LB come out and fight you for the diploma.
There you go.
Right.
What did you get your master's in?
So my master's is in sports management, and actually I should
okay.
correct you. So it's an odd situation. I am still finishing my undergrad.
Okay.
That was kind of misquoted in the article. But I take classes online currently from UMass Amherst, and I will be finishing with an undergrad in psych. But the league over in the UK helps guys out like myself who have a little bit of schooling, but maybe not a degree yet, and they get them into a master's program while they're playing over there as kind of a part of their salary package.
And you did some assistant coaching in Belfast, right?
Yeah, so I was a player assistant there, which the Reggie Dunlop of Slapshot Roll was interesting, but fun experience at the same time.
Wow.
So you could be like all geared up and call a timeout? I mean,
basically, yeah. I mean, in between periods, sometimes going and sit in the coach's office and draw up some plays instead of sitting in the room with the guys. It was certainly an interesting experience, but I learned a ton. So
is that a goal of yours, maybe to end up coaching a team somewhere?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, next steps career-wise are kind of wide open. I've started working in the world of hockey agency. I've been preparing myself to step into a coaching position at some point when I retire as well. So yeah, definitely in the cards.
So agency, like you would want to represent other players.
Yeah, I'm currently working with a guy, and I do a lot of player development for some of their amateur clients and some of their college clients that they advise. But that's just trying to see how many avenues there'll be when retirement from playing comes. Yeah.
Well,
who represents you now?
So the guy I'm working with actually currently represents me. His name is Pat Bedell. He's got a couple of guys on the Railers team as well. He's got the big number 23 Ross Olson there, who is a good young player with some promise. So,
I mean, it's definitely smart to set yourself up for after your playing career, because I mean, those home good pillows behind you aren't cheap. I mean,
yeah, no, that's fair. No, I've been preparing for the transition for the last 4 or 5 years now, and I refuse to give up on the playing dream. It's just too much fun.
See, I like the not giving up on the playing dream, because you turned down $2 million when you were 19 years old to say fucking he was offered $2 million. Tell this story. $2 million to never play hockey again, and you said to your parents, "Fuck." I don't think you said "fuck that." You said, "Nope, I want to keep going."
I was
probably at 19. You didn't say, "Ma, fuck that." You said, "No, I want to keep going."
Pretty much. I mean, it was pretty close to that. No, it was crazy. I got drafted by the Atlanta Thrashers back in 2005, I think it was now. And my first training camp, I get called up to main camp. I go down there. One of two guys from that draft year that they brought in to main camp, me and the first rounder from that year, and get down there. First inter squad game, I get absolutely buried from behind. I was the first guy back for the puck, and one of the tough guys in camp, a few screws loose, not the brightest bulb, came flying down, hammered me from behind, ended up blowing out 2 discs in my lower back. Ended up having a concussion on the play. Didn't know. I mean, concussions were not a thing that were discussed back then. It was, do you have a headache? No, get back out there. Actually, from that play, I go back to the bench, and the first thing I remember is it was probably 20 minutes later. I was actually sitting next to Mark Savard, was my line mate for that inter squad game, and gives me a bump. He's like, "Yeah, nice pass, kid." And I look at him, and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he looks at me, he's like, "What?" I was like, "No, I wasn't on the ice." He just looks down at the trainer. He's like, "Hey, he's done."
Oh my gosh,
he's got to go.
Yeah, he's got to go. So I went in the locker room, and they were more concerned about my back than they were about my head, which is a crazy thing. But so the next night we go to Montreal for a preseason game. I don't play. They bag skate me until I throw up that morning after the morning skate, which again, probably a result of the concussion, not necessarily the skate itself.
They're not even worried about your head at that point.
Yeah, so I end up going back to my junior team up in Quebec, and I play a game or two. I can hardly even stand up straight after the game, because these 2 discs in my back, they're going right into my sciatic nerve. I got pain running down my leg. So I end up coming home. I see a couple of doctors from the Boston area that my agent at the time hooked me up with. They were a lot of the sports medicine guys that work with the big clubs around here. And through that process, I had career-ending, I don't know if it's disability insurance, whatever it's called, but a career-ending insurance policy that if anything happened to me, I had a $2 million payout. At that time, I was still considered a prospect, not as suspect as I am these days in that view. And so my salary potential was crazy high at that point, having signed an NHL contract and being drafted high. And my parents came to me. It was like, I think the way the policy was written, I had 30 games that I could come back from that injury. And they came to me like game 27 or 28. And they just said, "Hey, like, these are your options." And I was back into the swing of things. I was playing well again. I was over a point a game, and hockey was going well. And I was.
But there's that $2 million sitting right here. Mom and dad must have been like, "Take the money."
No, my parents were always, they were great. They supported me, in kind of every decision I made, as long as, I had those backup plans in place. But they had that conversation. They said, "Tell me, what do you want to do?" And I said, I'm kind of lighting it up right now. I'll make $2 million. I'll make $2 million over the course of my career. I'm not sure I quite made it back to that number, but that's the thing. I got to bust out the calculator for that one. Maybe close, but not quite. But in the end, the life experience that came from it, all the countries I got to live in, crazy stories I got to experience all over the world, the amazing friendships and teammates I've had throughout the year. I wouldn't have gone the other way for a second.
That's awesome.
So you've played for, here, correct my numbers if they're wrong, 16 teams since 2002.
Hold on. I have a calculator. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, you might need it. We're nearing. I mean, since 2002. Yeah, somewhere in that range, probably 16 to 20. I mean, I had 1 year I played for 4 teams. That was that.
You called yourself a vagabond, but you're like, you wouldn't you called yourself that in an interview, but you wouldn't trade that for anything though, right?
No, I would. I mean, those life experiences were amazing. Like that year itself was crazy. I signed a contract in Germany. I ended up having a heart surgery in October.
Jesus. Oh my God.
I was back on the ice up in Manchester in the East Coast League by middle of November. I then got called up to Springfield in the American League for a couple of games, went back to Manchester, ended up signing a great deal to go back to Sweden that year. Came back after that season ended, because that season ended like the last day of February. And I ended up jumping on as an assistant coach on the coast up in Manchester for 20, 30 games all in the same year. So it was,
wow.
I mean, years like that, just those experiences, it's just awesome. And I would not, $2 million, not worth trading those.
No.
Yeah.
So so you were saying that when you were playing in Belfast, I mean, I got the impression from what you said, it wasn't a good experience, but it must be tough playing hockey in England where soccer or football is so dominant over there.
It is. Now, I got to agree. Belfast was amazing. Playing in Belfast itself, unbelievable experience. They had a great facility, one of the best fan bases I've ever played for. As far as an organization, the story behind how that organization started is a crazy interesting one. I mean, that team basically grew out of the Troubles in Northern Ireland as hey, we need something to bring these communities together. That's not a football team. It's not a soccer team. Right. It's not, a rugby team or their national sports, or we need something that's just never been here before. And they brought in a hockey team. They chose the colors to be very neutral to both sides of those conflicts. And, it was crazy to play there in that experience because you're talking about people that have been at war with each other for years, sitting down having beers with each other every Friday, Saturday night.
We need more of that shit in this world.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, beers at a hockey game on a Friday, Saturday night.
Yes. Yes. I'll fucking beat your ass on Monday through Friday, but fuck off. Let's sit down on Saturday, have a couple pops and watch hockey.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what hockey is, right? The number of times that I mean, another Belfast story. We played Manchester at home, and I got in a fight with a guy, and I popped him 5 or 6 good ones in the fight. I won the fight. I ended up buying him a beer like 3 hours later at the bar. I mean, that's the way of the world when it comes to hockey. It's just that. But back to I think your original question was about kind of living in Europe and moving around all the time, right, Mike? Is that?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, well, about my thing was like, was it I'm looking for differences as far as play goes. Is there a lot, obviously there was fighting. You just described a fight, but is the action faster, slower? Is there more violence, or what were the bigger differences you noticed in playing in the U.S. and playing in specifically in Belfast? Because I know if you played in Sweden and Scandinavia, it's like another whole other world.
Yeah, I mean that whole side over there, Scandinavia and Germany, and that game it's very fast, much bigger ice surface. The game in the UK, it's come a long way. It used to. So what you guys saw in the documentary about the Danbury Trashers, that used to be the entire UK league.
Really?
If you Google anything on the EIHL or the Elite League, whatever it was called, from the early, when they started back in the 90s, all the way up through probably like 4 or 5 years ago is when the league changed. Oh, every team had 4 guys on it that were the heaviest of heavyweights you can have in hockey, and every game was an absolute melee.
Wow.
The 90s were a tough time for minor league hockey.
I don't know if I consider myself a decently tough player, but I watched some of those games from back in the day. I don't know if I would have had it in me. Back in the wooden stick days, if you were like in front of the net on a power play, you were guaranteed to take at least 15 to 20 cross checks, a couple of crotch lifts from the goalie and the guy behind you. God. and it was never called. I think guys in the game today, I think it's gotten soft. That's for sure.
I'd like to have that conversation with Cam Neely because his office was in front of the net. So how much fucking abuse did Cam Neely take in front of the net his whole career? Talk about crotch lifts, broken sticks, just fucking. Oh,
in all fairness, he had a guy watching his ass there, Mr. Lyndon Byers, for a little while. So
he'll come back across.
Right. Yeah. LB, get out there and tell that guy to screw. You know,
right?
It was so funny hearing LB talk about some of his like Bruins fight stories. There was one against the Whalers where he jumped off the bench and tried to get into the Whalers bench, and he was like telling me what happened, and I was like, that's not what happened in the video, LB. Look at what happened. He was like, oh, you know what? I don't know. I was blackout drunk. Right?
Oh, they were a different breed back then. And, you know, I there's part of me that's mad at those guys. I mean, they used to go out the night before games and they get hammered. And as a result of that, we now have morning skates on game days.
Yes.
The morning skate was originally born as a deterrent for guys to go out, A, and B, if the guys went out, to make them sweat it out before they go back to the hotel and get a nap.
No shit.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's funny that back then, like Jerry Cheever said he switched to light beer to be healthy while he was playing.
Yes.
I mean, that's the modern day version of a guy saying, I only drink seltzers in season. That's what that's become now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
that's
claws only during the season.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jordan, I got 2 dates for you, and I want you to tell me which one is more significant.
Yep.
Let's see. Back in 2005, you already mentioned. I think it was, I don't know the exact date, but 2005 or April 1st, 2008. Now, do you know what happened both of those days?
So one would have been my draft year.
Yeah, so July 30th. So that the 2004-2005 lockout, it was supposed to happen, I guess, on like June 25th. So July 30th, 2005, you were drafted by the Atlanta Thrashers.
Yep.
Right? 4th round draft pick. Or what happened on April 1st? You had something happen.
April 1st would have been my first and only NHL goal.
Bam. And you had 2 points in that game.
I had 2 points that night. I was the second star of the game. That one takes the cake. I mean,
I was going to say, which one in your career is it the being drafted or that first NHL goal?
Being drafted was cool, but I mean that first goal after even just getting a shift in the NHL.
Right.
I mean that was an insane feeling for me. I mean, from the time I was 12 years old, I remember playing roller hockey with my best friend down the street, and I looked at him. We were skating around, screwing around one afternoon, and I just said, I'm going to play in the NHL one day. And he just laughed, and we've talked about this conversation since. And I said, man, you remember that? He's like, yeah. He's like, I do. So just getting the game was one thing, but scoring that goal, that's a moment that it will never go away. It's something that cannot be taken away from me.
Right.
My brother and his wife. I have that puck. It's in a beautiful frame with a picture of the celebration and the game sheet and everything. My brother and his wife were able to come down to that game because they were living in Nashville at the time. They drove down to Atlanta to see it. That one was truly special. I mean, the crazy part of that story. So 2-point night. I finished the game. I'm flying higher than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm not even half dressed, and it was Larry Simmons was the assistant GM at the time. And he comes and shakes my hand, and he says, "Hey, great game. We think you have a huge future for us in Atlanta here, but we're going to send you back down to Chicago."
That night,
hadn't even left the locker room. Was still in half of my gear. This happened. I mean, again, it was like one of the last games of the season, and I mean, we were going to make the playoffs in Chicago, so I wasn't going to stay there. They only had 1 or 2 games left, but I just remember the high of like, this is the best moment of my life. Okay,
yeah.
I mean, let the guy get dressed. Jeez.
I remember I walk out in the hallway. I walk out in the hallway with my bag on my shoulder to meet my brother and his wife. My brother goes, "What are you doing? You don't carry your bag in this league." I was like, "Yeah, you do if you're going back to that other league."
Oh man!
I just remember walking through the concourse. They had like the post-game radio show going on in front of a live audience at the bar, and I'm walking through the concourse with my bag, and I just hear it was one of the I want to say it was Ray Ferraro was actually doing it at the time. I think he was on the air. So one of the guys looks over and he sees me walking out and he goes, "This right here is what's wrong with this organization. We got a guy, 2 points tonight, and we're sending him back." He goes, he's got more points than some of the guys had all season.
And now you got commentary on it as you're just trying to leave.
You're like, as I'm walking by, fuck you.
Yeah, and I'm walking out of the rink, walking down the streets of downtown Atlanta to my brother's car that was parked like a half mile from the stadium, carrying my bag and
Were you looking in all the windows of the bars and stuff, and it was on the TV? Jordan gets sent back to.
I mean, that would, if they were to ever make a movie of that moment, that would be the scene. Just me
starts
standing
to
with a
rain
bag like this. Like, yeah.
See, these are a couple of things I'm thinking for like the documentaries. It's your graduation thing you're gonna do with Mike and the Railers. We've got some good fucking material here. You walk out, it's raining. It's awful, it's terrible, but you've had a great career, and then finally you graduate, and then you become a coach, and boom, you make your $2 million, and you tell that insurance company to go fuck themselves.
There's your happy ending. Exactly.
I just wrote the thing for you. You're welcome.
Perfect.
That's fucking awesome. That is awesome.
Hey, so speaking of movies, I don't know if you've seen Goon.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay,
so good.
So,
of course.
So of that, or like Young Blood, or what was the one in Alaska?
Mystery Alaska.
Mystery Alaska. Yeah. What hockey movie got it right?
Oof.
Slap shot.
That's a really tough. That's a tough question. I mean, Youngblood, wrong. You're never gonna have two guys squaring off at center ice with their sticks like this, whacking at each other like that. They
drop the
happened.
sticks.
I'm trying to think.
Hockey
Goon,
fights in movies bug me.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to think of other hockey movies. The closest,
just like Boston accents in movies. Are you fucking kidding right now?
Yeah, fair enough. Honestly, Slapshot may actually have been the closest.
Yes.
I gotta be honest with you. I mean, thinking of like road trips, being on the bus, and Jesus, we had a trip. I think of that bus that they drove, and they're like, make it look mean, and they're smashing it with their sledgehammers. I've been in some buses in different leagues that look that way when you walk up to them. It's not
like that was,
but it's not on
real.
purpose,
right?
Yeah, and I've played in games that have a similar feel to that. I mean, my first trip ever in the East Coast League back in 2018, we had a sleeper bus because we were heading down to I want to say it was Wheeling, West Virginia, which avoid that place if you ever.
What was it? Let me write that down.
Wheeling, West Virginia.
Wheeling.
Yeah,
West
so we
Virginia.
stop off in Elmira in upstate New York, another place to avoid. We get to the hotel in Elmira, and I go to set my bag down, and I'm like, I get lightheaded, and like I almost fall over. Like, what is going on? I got a terrible headache, and I end up calling my mom, and I'm telling her what's going on. And she's like, it sounds like you have carbon monoxide poisoning.
Oh Christ!
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
what? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, it sounds like it's like is there something wrong with the bus? I was like, I mean, it did smell horrible the whole ride.
Oh my God.
So I end up going to Walmart right down the street from the hotel in Elmira, and I buy a little battery operated carbon monoxide detector. We're in the bus for about 10 minutes before this thing starts.
Oh my God.
High alert! High alert!
So from that
high
point
alert.
on, we've got the emergency exit thing in the top of the bus open, trying to get airflow through the back of the back.
And this
of
is
the
what
bus.
you're traveling on to game.
Yeah,
What
this was also with a bus driver who, when you went to walk off the bus, had his phone sitting in the dock in the front of the bus, and he had a picture of himself with two hookers. As
in the bus?
As the main screen on his phone. He also, during the game, decided he wanted to go get a new tattoo, and he went and got the Monster Energy drink logo tattooed.
Oh,
wow!
This was your bus driver?
This was the bus driver. Yeah.
Hold on. Here's another great documentary. Think about the actors that we hire for. You've got fucking Sergeant Slaughter driving the fucking bus, getting tattoos everywhere, and then you fucking pull up to the next stop, and the entire hockey team's dead from carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
This is the other thing. So I grew up in Binghamton, New York. We'll make it the third place to avoid on my
Is that another place for my list?
Here.
Hold on.
Yep.
Binghamton, where?
Binghamton, New York. So another upstate, very close to
Yep.
Elmira.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Elmira.
I remember it's the middle of the night, and I'm sleeping on the sleeper bus. I wake up and we've stopped. We've been stopped for about 10 minutes, and we're stopped in the middle of a very random neighborhood in Binghamton. And the only reason I remember this neighborhood is because I played Little League right down the street. When I was playing Little League, we had a game that was canceled mid-game because there was a gang fight that started on the basketball
that's
court.
nice. That's
So
nice.
we pull over, and he just gets off the bus and disappears for about 10 minutes in this neighborhood.
The bus
And I'm
driver.
sitting there thinking, I'm sitting there thinking, this guy's on a drug run. Like, this is,
Oh,
he's,
Yeah, he's buying
he's
crack.
muling something. I remember telling
Yeah.
guys, I'm like, I'm pretty sure our bus driver is making a drug deal right now. Like, this neighborhood is known for that. This is not.
Now, was this the
This is
same bus
not a
driver
good
with the
thing.
Monster Energy tattoo?
This is the same Monster Energy guy.
I mean, I'm just picturing Chris Farley from Billy Madison with the just a little bit meaner.
I'm thinking more Danny McBride from Eastbound and
Yes.
Down.
Actually,
yes,
that's
right.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
would've been
he'd
a
be
good fit.
perfect.
Yeah.
That should be a clue
Well-
right there. One is that you had almost died of carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah.
They didn't switch buses. You had to open all the windows for the rest of the trip. And two, your bus driver seems impervious to carbon monoxide poisoning. Probably
Right?
because he's filled with meth. You know,
Oh,
it's
Jesus,
like, yeah, that's amazing.
Oh,
And
listen,
seriously,
listen,
opening-
listen, hold on.
Opening the door in the back of the bus to his little like cubby hole sleeping area. That popped open a couple times, and that was not a sanitary looking.
geez.
I mean, going to a
Yeah.
game is just, it's survival.
Just
Trying
so
to
you
stay alive.
guys know, Binghamton, New York is known for their Philharmonic Orchestra. How dare you? Their zoo at Ross Park,
Great zoo.
Broadway,
I will agree with that.
Broadway Theater League. Oh, there is a thing that says crack cocaine den. Huh. It's fucking weird. That's on their website. You're right. That was a fucking bad place.
There you go. Yeah. Horrible
Crack
place.
cocaine den on the city of. I'm sorry. You should have stayed the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we moved. I think at one point they had like a prisoner release program where they'd bus prisoners from New York City prisons up and drop them off in Binghamton at halfway houses and give them jobs. So
Oh my God.
that city went downhill real quick.
There is a nice First Friday art walk though, if you're interested in that.
I've probably been a part of that back in the day, over by the Robeson Art Museum there. Yeah.
You know, the rolling hills look lovely, but I see lots of trees where people could be doing crack cocaine as well. So I get it.
Wait, was Francis Scott Key from Binghamton? The guy who wrote the Star Spangled Banner?
That should be on the fucking homepage, don't you think?
You think that would be the lead story?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Well,
Yeah.
the lead story is the mayor is like, join our virtual. Fuck you, virtual. Like, I want to come to your town. Maybe I don't. Let's see. News.
Well, I mean, the good
News.
news is that it makes Worcester look like Mayberry. So, I mean,
Oh
that's-
my
Right?
God.
I don't know, Josh. If you look hard enough, you can get all that stuff here in the city of the Seven Hills.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
That's
Man,
fine.
what a long way Worcester's come since I spent some time back here 10 years ago. Though it's crazy.
I know. Yeah. I've been living here for almost 22 years, and it's amazing how many things have been accomplished in this city.
Yeah,
And how much it's improved
awesome.
over
Yeah.
the years. And that's why I love living here. Cause it's a tough city in that sense where it's like, we're going to pick ourselves up and we're going to brush the dirt off and we're going to keep going forward. Cause in the 70s, from talking to friends who grew up here in the 70s and the 80s, this place was just riddled with, heroin and gangs. And it was just it was a tough place, but it's come a long way.
I was trying to explain to some of the guys in the team. We were out at one of the bars over on Water Street there.
Mhm.
And I was we were waiting in line to get in. I remember looking at a couple of guys being like, "Phew, if you would have told me 10 years ago that I'd be standing right here at 12:30 at night."
No.
Like,
No.
Right, in Kelly Square, right?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Man, that's unbelievable.
So, as a kid, did you go to any like Worcester Ice Cats games?
Oh yeah. I mean, I grew up. So again, Binghamton had where I grew up. They had an American League team. When we came to Worcester, it was the Ice Cats. So yeah, I had seen plenty of hockey there. They always had the NCAA regionals there. Like every other
Mhm.
year, they'd come through there. I remember going to those all the time, and concerts there. My first concert ever was there. I was in 7th or 8th grade, and it was Stained and Megadeth came through
At
Oh
the
my
Worcester
God.
Centrum?
at the Centrum. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Was that like an AAF Halloween show?
I
remember?
believe.
Yeah.
I believe-
Yeah,
I
you
believe
were
it
on
was,
stage being a
actually.
fucking asshole.
Oh yeah. Well, when was that? There was 20 years of that, Isaiah. Seriously.
They narrow it down a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. Get off the stage, you asshole. We didn't come here to see you. You know?
Wow.
Wow.
It may have been. It was during the school year. So it might have been a Halloween show.
My first show was at the Centrum back then. I saw Van Halen on the Diver Down tour, and that was my only exposure.
What year was that?
That was 80. I want to say 82.
That was your
3.
first concert?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And it was a good show. It was a great show. Yeah.
82.
And,
Mine was 84 Boston Garden AC/DC.
oh, that's a good first show. Yeah.
Josh, your first show?
That's a good one.
Mine's not as cool.
No, it's okay.
Oh, wait.
It's okay.
Wait, I think you told me this, Josh. Was it Neil Diamond?
No, it was Peter
Oh, okay.
Noon.
Yeah, that's right. Peter Noon, Herman and Hermits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember.
that's right.
I remember when Peter Wolf from the Jay Giles Band came into the studio, and he came in like an hour early, and he was asking me all kinds of questions, and he was like, "So, what was your first concert?" And I was like, "Peter Noon," and he was just like, "What?
Really?
Oh, he didn't know. He'd probably say, "Yeah, me and Peter Noon got a couple of hookers in Chicago once," and you know.
No, he was telling me stories of that with him and John Lennon, but I mean.
Jordan, what was your first concert ever?
That was it.
That was your first concert
That was
ever?
it. That was my first concert ever. Yeah.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
a good
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Well,
Megadeth.
Mike,
Yeah.
Jordan, Isaiah, good. Josh.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey.
I was in preschool. I didn't have much of a option, but what can you do? But so it must be pretty cool to play in that building now, though.
Yeah,
really,
right?
really cool. I've had a number of those experiences. I got to play a pro game in Binghamton in the rink where I took my first stride.
Nice.
I went. My parents took me to public skating. There was the first time I'd ever stepped on the ice, and I got to play a pro game there. Obviously, playing here. I mean, it was the Centrum back then when I was going to games and that show. And so, I mean, even the first time coming to play there, back when I was playing, and I think it was Syracuse the first time I played in Worcester, was a really cool experience. I had 20, 30 people come out to the game, and so it's definitely like playing at home. There's no question. I mean, I on game days, I live in Brighton now. I will drive to morning skate in the morning. After morning skate, I drive to my mom's in Westboro. She has a pregame meal there for me. I take a nap back in my old childhood room for pregame, and then I head back to the rink. And so she's absolutely loving it. She comes to every game that she can, and she's even driven me to a couple games. She's dropped me off, and she'll head across the street to Mezcal and have a meal before coming in for warm up. So
That's
Does
cool.
she yell
It's been
when
awesome.
she drops you off for a game? Does she yell, "Meet me right here after the game. Don't wander around anywhere. This is Worcester.
It's
Just
the
right
opposite
here."
now. It's the opposite now. I tell her, I said, "Mom, meet me right here, just inside 4A.
You tell your mother.
I will walk you to your car. We'll walk you to the parking garage, and I'll go back to the locker room." So yeah, roles reversed now.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the pregame meal? Is it a regular thing, or is it different every time?
It changes. I've gotten lazy as of late. The last couple of games, she hasn't actually. I helped my brother watch his kids, so she wasn't there. So I stopped and hit up the Whole Foods hot bar. So it was whatever they had. It was teriyaki meatballs one day. I think it was chicken tikka masala another day. So, but I've been on a bit of a point streak with that stop. So I'm a fairly superstitious guy when it comes to my meals. So that's become the new routine.
Yeah. So what other, do you have any other like superstitious based routines that you do? I know every athlete has their own thing that they have to do every game.
I don't have anything crazy. For a while, before my metabolism stopped working pretty much completely, I was always 2 donuts in the morning before games. So I'd always stop at Dunks on the way, and I grab a chocolate frosted and the Boston cream, and that was a part of my morning routine. Other than heavy ones too.
Oh, dude,
that's
you
a lot
weren't having
lot
a
of
fucking
sugar.
plane. You went hard.
Yeah, well, I mean that was back. I could eat 6,000 calories a day and not gain a pound, and around 27 that stopped.
Right.
And if you track, that's kind of when my career started to take a little bit of a dip
Oh,
too.
stop it.
I had to learn how to maintain to get back up to the higher levels.
All of a sudden, it was a little harder to do the lines after the Boston Cream. So,
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. Why do I feel like I can't move? Oh yeah, that's right. I had 2 donuts before I came to the rink this morning.
So you love coming back to New England, obviously, with the Westboro ties. I actually spent a few years when I was living in Florida, when I moved back to Massachusetts to work at AAF, and I lived in Westboro for a few years. It was such a nice town. I grew up on the North Shore, so I didn't really know much about Metro West. And where did you live in Westboro? I was on Oldham Road. It was a nice spot.
Do you know where the Yeoman Farms ice cream stand is in Westboro
Yes.
on Route 30?
Yeah.
So my mom's neighborhood is the neighborhood directly behind that.
Very cool. So were you there when they
Right
built
there.
the Wegmans on the hill?
Up over in Northboro there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that-
like,
well,
were you there
I would
before?
have been in and out, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there well before that was around.
I got in there, and of course, being from over here and closer to Boston, whatnot, out there. But that was like a religious experience when they built like and Wegmans is a great store from the New York area, but that thing came in and it was just like, oh, here's this thing up on the hill.
Another Binghamton tie there. We had a Wegmans in Binghamton, so I remember when I heard they were building one here. It was hysteria of my family. Mom was so excited. She knew
Right?
exactly what was coming in.
Anybody from the New York region that's like, did you say Wegmans?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's actually a really, really good. I do miss that because it was a really, really good store. But when they built it, it was like fucking traffic jam central. I'm like, I'm just going to Shaw's. I'll go over to fucking Shrewsbury somewhere and get it. But you're from here. When you come back and you travel through and all your years, you're a fan of New England. What are some of the coolest spots in New England that you like? Because we're all from here, so we've got our little nuggets that we go to. What do you really adore in your family when you come back?
God, places I frequent with the family. Not a huge Cape person. I never really have been. I don't do a lot.
Too much
down
fucking
there.
traffic.
Yeah, I can't. Exactly. I can't. It's not relaxing. I don't like if I want to go somewhere for a weekend. I want to go somewhere relaxing and enjoy it. I'm trying to think. One of my favorite spots that I found myself the last couple of years enjoying here is Walden Pond.
That's beautiful.
That's a New England spot that I found myself. I recently tried to get into fly fishing, and so I'll go up there every once in a while. And in the summer, you can walk out 20 feet into the water just up to your waist and still see to the bottom. And that's probably one of my favorite spots in the area, especially being so close to Boston. It's a cool little escape.
Right. Such a great area around here too, where people not from here, they just think we're all massholes and douchebags, which we are.
Well, I don't know.
But,
yeah, that's
we fucking are.
kind of
so whatever.
valid.
Yeah. I guess we're all cocksuckers. But it's just so many cool places, like you talk about there, or you go to a North Conway. You find these little nuggets of places that aren't hustle and bustle, like love Boston, love Worcester, but to be able to scoot out not that far from them and really just like exhale and chill. It's nice.
Yeah. No, it's Boston's an awesome city, and Worcester and the surrounding areas. It's why every summer, like I said, I've lived all over the country. I've lived all over the world. I always come back.
You always come back for mom's meal.
Exactly. Families here for me. All of my friends are here. I play in a men's league every summer in Westboro at the North Star rink with guys that I grew up in high school with. This is where home is for me, and it's where home will be.
That's awesome.
When you play in a men's league in the summer, they must hate you.
I play
Mr. Pro Hockey Player. Great.
It's funny.
I
was first with those guys. It's a men's B league too, which makes it even worse.
Oh my god!
I was kind of told. I was told by the management of the league and the rink that if you want to play with your buddies, you can't go all out. You gotta tone it down a little bit. Keep games close, but you can't.
Don't hurt anybody.
So it's
only light beer in the locker room.
Right.
It's funny. You'd think guys would get upset. Occasionally you'll run across a team that has got some of your standard massholes that don't appreciate it, but most of the guys, I think a lot of them kind of enjoy it. I think it's kind of fun to skate against a pro hockey player. And I've been. I was going to
say, how would you not, unless you're just some fucking narcissist fuck that thinks you're actually good. If I played hockey against you and you smoked me, I'd be like, dude, can I get a selfie? You just kicked my ass. This was awesome.
I mean, it is also that league, those two leagues, the A League on Thursdays and the B League. Actually, my team are wearing their hat right now. I've been playing in them for now like 10, 15, 16 years, the two leagues respectively. So most of the guys that are playing in them, they know who I am. They know me. And in the summer, especially, I'm not the only pro guy that goes back to playing those leagues.
Okay.
The league in West Pro is actually, it's a pretty good men's league. Every year, every team has at least 2 Division I players, ex-pro players, and a couple of Division III guys. So it's a pretty good skate. Yeah.
But no matter what league or what beer league, there's always that one hardo that wants to, be just as good as the pro. Like I remember,
I'll take them out.
Yeah, we were playing the Bruins alumni, and it was the Boston Comedy All Stars versus the Bruins alumni, and there was
wait. How did you make that team?
Exactly.
I organized.
You
it.
are neither. You are neither.
Sorry, Josh. Go.
No, it's all good.
Valid point.
There was a guy on the bench that was like going over game plays, and I was like, "What are you talking about, dude?"
We're comedians who skate.
But he was like, "Come on, guys, we need to cycle." I'm like, "We're not cycling in this game."
Every team has that. Every team has that.
It's like
guy.
you're wearing a cage.
I'll never forget. I was playing. It was probably like my 3rd year playing in that league. I was probably 18, 19 years old. And I remember I went to go around a guy. He stuck his leg out, leg checked me. I kind of went at him a little bit. He came back at me, and he was probably in his late 30s, early 40s. And I just remember I gave him a good cross check, and he goes, "Oh, he's like, you want to fight?" I was like, I looked at him, I go, "Do you really want to do that?
Really?
Do you want to go home to your wife and explain to her that you got the shit kicked out of you by an 18-year-old in a men's league on a Thursday night? You really want to do this right now?"
Gonna have to explain that bruise at work? I don't think so.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Shoot. I'm taking all kinds of notes on stuff for your radio show. So we've discussed.
Okay.
We've got Jordan's graduation.
My show. Okay. Yeah.
No, listen,
Okay.
I'm building content.
No, that's cool.
Jordan,
I could use it. Yeah.
I've listened. I know.
That's
So,
the great thing
okay.
about Isaiah. You don't need to ask him; he'll just do it for you.
He'll just Right.
I've been taking notes, you fuck. So we have Jordan's graduation. We have that moment in time where we get that 40-year-old Worcester douche fuck that wants to fight him. Now you're 35 now, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. Let's get a 60-year-old that goes up against a 35-year-old. Couple things, and then we're also going to have the worst places on the planet to visit, and it's a couple places in New York and West Virginia. So we'll talk later, but we've got some good shit for Mike's show. If you want to join him,
Well, Jordan,
Whenever.
I'm going to be. I know you guys have a game tomorrow, but right, and then
Yeah,
Saturday.
we're up in Maine tomorrow. We're home on Saturday. Yeah.
So
Nice.
Saturday's a big night at the DCU Center because you guys have the annual teddy bear toss, which is a big
I
thing.
just saw that on the website.
Yeah,
That's
you
awesome.
bring if you're going to the game, you bring a brand new teddy bear or stuffed animal of some kind. So when you guys score your first goal, everybody gets to throw the teddy bears or the stuffed animals on the ice, and you guys collect those and you
That's
give them
awesome.
to the kids at the Friendly House here in Worcester, which is a great organization.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit of history, ECHL history being made because you're going to have your first female official on the ice. Laura, is it Laura Schmidlin? I think that's how you say her name. I'm not quite sure. I hope I'm getting that right, but she's going to be in the ECHL, the first female official, because I know the AHL has a few already.
Yeah, no, that'll be a cool experience. We had in the UK, we had a female lines for a number of games over there. She ended up retiring last year. Just said it wasn't for her, but no, that'll be pretty cool. I'm excited to see how that's going to work out, and I'm sure she's going to do an awesome job.
Yeah, I mean I can't imagine though. She must be ready to take some kind of crap. There's got to be some guys out there still.
Tough as nails. You got to be like the women. The women in the NFL.
There's got to be guys out there still who are like this woman doesn't belong on the ice. I can't wait to
Good.
see how
Then she should blow the whistle.
Room.
Yeah. Well, guess what? They can sit in the fucking penalty box and be like, "You're done then. Fuck you, asshole."
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for the first. I mean, is she a ref or a linesman?
A linesman. For that
linesman.
Night, yeah.
Okay, so I'm excited for the first fight. She goes into break up and she tosses the
Right?
guy down to the ground.
Right? Yeah. Right.
That's yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, another historic thing happening on Saturday. I will be taking part in the Table Talk pie eating contest for the second time.
All right.
Against our digital guy. This guy's name is Tim Brennan. He's a larger man, and he's been threatening.
That was a nice
me.
way to put it.
And we have a bet going. So I have a 2x4 autographed by the legendary wrestler Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh,
and he's a big wrestling fan. So I put that on the line. And he's got a Star Trek 3-dimensional chess set, which I'm very excited about. So really, there's a lot on the line.
Where is this happening?
How'd you do in your first pie eating contest? How'd the first one go?
Well, I would have done well, but obviously
I was there for the
Railers.
first one.
Yeah, Josh was there. He saw what happened. The Railers organization didn't want me. First of all, they didn't want me in there until I started saying they were ageist, and because it was only like 8-year-old kids, right? And so they put me in there, and this 10-year-old kid comes up, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm taking on this 10-year-old kid. Well, he was obviously a pro. The kid was spinning the plate with his face and just chowing
Joey
down.
Chestnut Jr. Just
exactly. Yeah, this kid was a pro. So they
Hsu
brought
gets
in
very
Railers.
competitive with his pie. He was trash talking this kid, saying he was adopted. I mean,
He
it
was
was
finger in his
10?
face, and I was like, "You're going down." And he had this like deadpan look on his face. And then Trax was punching me in the back of the head. Me and Trax there's issues between us. So,
all right.
but if you see a little scrum going on at the Table Talk pie table between me and your mascot, just stay out of it, all right, Jordan?
Is that pre-game?
No. That's actually, we have
Second
60
intermission,
seconds. Right? No, well, I think it's usually the third period, and they do it in a break.
They do it during one of the promotional breaks.
Oh,
okay.
you literally have 60 fucking seconds to get that done.
60 seconds, and you got to eat as much pie as possible. And
excuse me?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Now-
that'll be another huge event going on Saturday. All right.
now
so,
Jordan's done some coaching. Can you skate over and coach him while he's eating the pie?
Jesus
Or-
Christ.
Never on the competitive eating side. I know we did have Joey Chestnut
Yes.
opening game. You might want to watch some film. You might want to watch some film on that. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
I know you know Mizey pretty well. Just get on the phone with him.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he might be able to send you over that footage. So.
Dude, I might need to have
And-
to come to this game on Saturday and see this bullshit.
And
That'd
I'm
be great.
good friends with Adam Webster, who who's the PA guy there at the DCU Center. So I'm trying to get him to maybe extend the time a little bit or something.
No, you can't. You can't.
Keep Tracks off my back at least.
The craziest
for
part
crying out
about
loud.
those things, when I was in Orlando, I was there for 5 years. I got to do some work with the Orlando Magic, and I learned quickly. We did a bunch of stuff with the radio station I work with down there. That fucking time between those timeouts is as regimented as fucking I got to sit like backstage and watch a fucking a theatrical thing. Every whistle, certainly halftime had its moments of length. But when they would go out and just fucking boom, and it was literally 60 seconds because the fucking players are back going, get the fuck off the court. Let's go.
Oh,
You're out here eating pie like a fucking douchebag. We have a game to play.
I know, right? Nobody
Fuck.
cares. Nobody came here to see you eat pie, asshole. Move
This
on.
is-
I might take a few bets on the bench now that I know what's going on. I may.
Yes.
We look up at those every once in a while.
I'll tell you, man. I'm ready.
Jordan,
Pay attention.
Jordan, you have to mentally, I know you're focused on the game, but look for them and skate out early and fucking throw them a check and be like, dude, off my ice.
Dude.
Oh
help
no,
me.
you guys are like up in the concourse doing it, right? I think it's just.
Oh
on
no,
camera
we're actually in the corner near the.
All right, I thought you were on the ice.
Where
Through
the
the
officials
Zamboni
come
doors,
out.
right?
They bring over that tunnel so nobody can spit on the refs. That's where
Okay.
we're doing it over there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I want you to be on the ice so Jordan can come take you the fuck right out.
No, I'm not stepping. I am not stepping on that ice. No,
No.
I have no business doing that. But
You'd
Yeah,
be
so that-
surprised. Players pay attention to those things. We look up at the screen. There are discussions on the bench when those things go down.
Well, it's got to be a nice distraction too. Sometimes it's like you're so focused, you're like, what kind of fucking bullshit goes on in here? Actually,
My first year of major junior up in Quebec, there was a defenseman and myself. We were the two rookies on the team that were always in the lineup. We never played. I mean, there'd be games where we get like 2 minutes of ice, and so every game going into the game, we would each pick a number between 0 and 9, and there was $2 on the line every time the clock stopped. If it landed on your number,
Oh my God.
you owe the other guy $2. So every
Wow.
whistle we're looking up, every whistle we're looking up on the board like this is where the grocery sticks in the middle of the bench. And we're sitting there going, yeah, 7, yes.
You got to be competitive somehow.
Oh, wait, so hold on. So when you turned down the $2 million, you said this is part of my plan.
Yes.
Yes.
I will
Yeah, I'm
bend
gonna
my
take
teammates
$2 a whistle from my teammate. Yeah.
when I don't fucking play. I will make $2 every. Okay, good move.
You know, I used to do the PA announcing for an ECHL team in Richmond, Virginia, the Richmond Renegades. I don't know if I don't think they're still around, but
No, I think Norfolk is the only. Norfolk's got a team in Virginia now. They're the only ones.
Or is Hampton Roads? Are they ECHL still? They were like the arch rivals at the time of Richmond.
I don't think they're down there anymore.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
But
I'm looking right now.
So I would fill in for the regular PA guy, and so I remember putting the headphones on and hearing these like numbers and like codes. They'd go like E33, 105. 6'8", something like that. I'd be like, what the hell's going on? So I
know
leaned over,
exactly.
I leaned over. You know what I'm talking about,
They're
right?
talking about the women in the stands. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The camera guys would find them, and they call out this like the row and the section and how many seats in. Those were the numbers.
Yeah.
And so after like a couple of games, I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like looking around, and then, it was hilarious. I'm not saying they do that at the DCU Center, of course. They're very professional.
Very, very professional.
I mean, a town like
never
Worcester,
dream of doing something like that.
Right. Absolutely not. No.
That's like a game of Battleship,
focused on
but
the game.
just with a different kind of kill,
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
I've played with guys who've come out to the bench with their phone numbers on a piece of paper and slipped it through the glass to the girl sitting next to the
Shocking.
bench. That's not horribly uncommon. And it's
I mean, usually it's a Sharpie on a puck, though, huh?
See the blonde up in 20. You see the blonde up in 204. That's exactly. That's expected.
Just don't let Herb Brooks hear you. I mean, that's how that whole.
How do you think I met Kate that you guys were introduced to by her little square picture before I logged on here?
Oh, actually, can we wrap this episode up with? Can we talk to her?
I don't know if she's still home. I can go and grab her if you really want.
No. Seriously. No, go ahead. We'll wait.
You guys are asking her to come on camera here. I have no idea what we're.
Okay. That's fine. You're fine. We'll wait.
Oh my God, this is going to be great.
We'll wait.
Why not?
Look at
Hey,
that.
Kate.
Look at that Love American style chair he's got going there.
Oh yeah.
He's made
Do you
more
guys
than
think?
$2
Do you
million.
guys think I decorated this place?
I know, right?
No fucking way you did.
That's a groovy chair you got going there,
She
buddy.
is. I
That's
think
pretty
she
nice.
is. She is off at lab trying to save the world right now.
No.
Oh,
I
well,
think
good
what
for her.
happened. I
Somebody's gotta
heard
do
in
it.
the back. I heard, "Go fuck yourself, kid." I'm not going on camera.
You guys picked out. I didn't know if the AirPods were sensitive enough to
Yeah.
pick up on that. Yeah. It's-
But the room does look nice. Did you buy everything in Home Goods?
Don't ask me. None of this. When we moved in here, this was all her stuff. This was. I just live here.
So how?
I just live here.
So how'd you meet her? Was it at a game? Was she?
No. I was just showing you. Actually, we met on. This is online. We met on Hinge.
You wrote your number on a puck. Fuck you.
Silver Sharpie on a black puck and tossed it up.
I know how
You
it
went
works.
out with.
She was a hockey player. She actually she played for the MIT club team back when she was in school. So
Oh wow.
she was a goalie. Yeah. So
Wow, a goalie with a brain.
yeah.
Wow.
And clearly some interior design.
Right. Yeah.
Yes,
Good
and
eye for design.
She's got a good eye for design. Yeah.
Definitely.
You scored. So she has made $2 million, and you're still working. I'm just taking notes, Jordan. I'm just taking
I
notes.
appreciate that. Yeah.
I like to keep notes on the shows just to make sure,
No, that's
We don't
good,
do
yeah.
anything with the notes, but they're just for Isaiah's personal.
I look at them later and throw them away, but they're good for me now.
Yeah.
This was awesome, man. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for popping
Thanks
by.
a lot,
This is
Jordan.
really
Thank
cool.
you guys for having me. This was great.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
man.
a lot of fun. We're big Railers fans, and it's good to see the local guy traveling the world and coming home and playing for the hometown team, I guess. And
Still going back to Westboro to have mom's dinner. What is it? Game day breakfast.
Pre-game meal. Yeah. That's
Pre-game
that's it.
meal. Pre-game meal. I love that.
Yeah. Pre-game
I
meal,
have-
pre-game nap. That's it. Yep.
I have
Nice.
not
Well,
been to
Jordan-
a game since Hsu's pie eating thing against
Oh,
the
yeah,
kids.
the
We'll
last
see.
pie
We'll
eating
see you at the
contest.
second pie eating thing this weekend, right?
Why don't we?
that's
Why
right,
don't we all?
Saturday.
Why don't we all? Game's sold out. I mean, can we go Saturday? Let's all go.
I'm sure there's plenty of good seats still available.
Let's
I'll
go.
see if there's you can go to railershc.com, I believe is the website, and you can get your tickets there and the whole schedule and stuff like that.
That would be awesome. I want to go and heckle the fuck out of you while you're eating those pies.
Oh, believe me. Get in line, buddy. Jeez.
I definitely want to go. Unfortunately, I can't make it this Saturday until the government clears me. But
that's right. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Josh
Yeah,
went and got
fair enough.
the thing, so he's got to stay
thing,
inside for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the bug.
Yeah. Well, don't go anywhere near the team, for crying out loud. Yeah, stay where you are.
Yeah,
No,
stay-
Josh,
stay
over
with
the
us.
last 2
Yeah.
years when they said don't lick doorknobs, he just fucking kept doing it.
Yeah, that's all he was doing.
They
Whole
said no more
mouth.
masks. I thought doorknobs were, fair game. So
Yeah.
I will be visiting the visitor locker room though. It's
Oh!
insane.
Yeah,
There you go.
Perfect.
Who is it? The
Sit right
Monarchs?
behind. You can sit right behind their bench. That's perfect. Yeah.
You know,
All right,
when we put this on Instagram, we're gonna get canceled, and we don't give a fuck.
Well,
Hey,
thanks a
Jordan,
lot,
thank
Jordan.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. This was awesome. Really appreciate it.
We'd love
You
to
got
have
it,
you on
buddy.
again sometime, man.
Good luck on Saturday, Mike.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. You too.
You too. You're playing the game.
Yeah, you're playing the game. Good luck to
I
you,
got a
buddy.
secondary. I got a secondary investment now. I'm looking forward to it.
Listen,
All
let's go
right,
back
man.
to the days. I would put $2 on the other guy.
Oh, come on.
What?
Come on. I know I've lost some weight, but I can still eat like a pro. Come on.
All right.
Sell me.
Everybody's
sell
rooting
me.
for the other. Everybody's rooting for this guy, Tim Brennan. He's just because he's like, 100 pounds heavier than I am doesn't mean
So
like he can eat more.
Are you saying you're the underdog?
No. Yeah.
$5 on Mike Hsu. $5 on Mike Hsu. I'm in. I'm in.
And I love blueberry pie, so I could have that edge. All
Done.
right.
$10 on Mike Hsu. I'm in.
All right. All right. Jordan, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate
you
it.
guys.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We'll see you
Bye, guys.
Saturday.
This is Brad Marchand, and you're listening to Breaking the Ice with Josh Dolan. I don't think he would ever let a pizza get out the door before he buried the whole thing, so he likes to eat that kid.